My roommate, Chloe Sue, purposefully gained over 150 kg to cultivate a certain image. I'm not like those simpering, posing girls. I believe self-confidence and a generous spirit are what truly matter. I advised her to cherish her body and stop seeking attention. Yet she accidentally uploaded a photo of me changing clothes online. Under her guidance, I immediately became the poster child for a conniving, flirtatious woman attacked by the entire social media. Reluctantly, I confronted her. She seized the opportunity, draining all my money for expensive liposuction surgery, gaining both fame and fortune. And she didn't forget to sell me to a lustful rich man for a final, cruel flourish. Filled with hatred, I bit my tongue and ended my life. When I opened my eyes again, I was back to the day my roommate was binge eating. "Vivian, tell me, am I pretty?" Chloe Sue still had grease stains around her mouth. She tugged at my sleeve, batting her eyes at me flirtatiously. Instinctively, I wanted to pull my hand away and distance myself, but she gripped me tightly, her hold so fierce it left a red mark on my wrist. The sharp pain brought me back to my senses. It was then I realized I had been reincarnated. At this point, Chloe Sue weighed only about 85 kg, her calculating eyes completely unconcealed. Seeing my silence, she pouted, "Do you think only being thin is beautiful? But I don't think so. How many people, in the name of freedom, flaunt their bodies and strike poses, forgetting that true beauty lies in confidence and a free spirit?" In the desolate dorm room, she hugged herself, her voice agitated, a sight that struck anyone as utterly bizarre. But in my past life, I was too naive, thinking it was just the lingering effects of her recent heartbreak. I rushed to comfort her, telling her I was only worried about her health. Unexpectedly, Chloe Sue seemed provoked. She suddenly pushed me hard, sending me tumbling to the ground. "You talk about health. I was a dance student, my physique was just normal maintenance. My daily exercise was dozens of times more than Chloe Sue's, but before I could even utter a word, my head hit the bed frame. A long, permanent scar was left on my left cheek. An act that ruined my life was easily swept under the rug by Chloe Sue, because she became famous. Our controversial video was shared over 100,000 times. She, this radiant chubby girl, had completely entered the public eye. As for me, I was confined to a hospital room by her hired bodyguards, forced to participate in her every charade. My body deteriorated day by day, yet she wouldn't let me go. The people who cursed me even chased me to my hospital room. I knelt behind the door, begging them to take me away, to hit me, scold me, tell me to do anything. I just wanted to escape Chloe Sue. Chloe Sue then publicly declared, "I believe my kindness will one day reform her." From that moment, my last path to survival was cut off by her. My spirit finally collapsed. I asked her, "What will it take for you to let me go?" Chloe Sue laughed. "I remember you're an orphan, so your savings must still be untouched, right?" She transferred all my money right in front of me, using it for expensive liposuction surgery abroad. And finally, she didn't forget to sell me to a wealthy pervert with peculiar tastes. I had only one request: don't let him return alive. I engraved Chloe Sue's smile of hatred deep in my heart. If I could become a vengeful spirit, she would be the first person I'd seek for revenge. Thankfully, heaven had eyes. It didn't turn me into a vengeful spirit, but gave me a chance to start over. Taking a deep breath, I pinpointed the location of the hidden micro camera. Facing the lens, I flashed a smile I had practiced countless times, gentle and healing. Of course, we all have the right to define beauty, don't we? Just kidding. I already knew this world was cruel and violent. Only those who laugh last can truly define beauty. Chloe Sue was clearly not expecting my reaction. After all, she always had my number. An orphan, enthusiastic yet insecure, afraid of losing any friend. "Vivian, what's wrong? Didn't you used to care about your figure the most? You'd complain even if I had an extra meal, but now that I'm like this, you're..." Her words were ridiculous. Before, we had to perform on stage together. Her indulgence would get our whole team eliminated. I could only endure her criticisms, helping her manage 3 meals a day. But now, how could I continue to spoil her? I didn't hesitate to state the truth. "You've changed your major now, and I'll be moving out soon. Just do whatever makes you happy. I don't have the energy to argue with you." I turned to pack my luggage. Chloe Sue panicked. Then what should I do? For so long, whether it was achievements or reputation, most of it relied on me. Moreover, for authenticity, she was live streaming today. Without drama, how could she become famous? Her eyes instantly reddened. She pathetically pulled at my sleeve, her grip so strong it nearly crushed my bones, but I remained expressionless. Although I knew Chloe Sue was just pretending now, and her live stream had few viewers, my professionalism told me that facing the camera, I had to present my most perfect self. Seeing my indifference, Chloe Sue stopped pretending, dried her tears, picked up her phone, and tapped a few times. I guessed she had ended the live stream. Her entire demeanor changed. She sneered at me. An orphan like you wants to move out? Do you have enough money? Don't be so selfish. Take it out and let everyone spend it freely. She chuckled hoarsely, hoping to see a change in my face to hide her own panic, because I knew this self-directed play of hers had only just begun. In my past life, what truly made Chloe Sue famous was a post she made the next day. At that time, I had just returned from the hospital after a simple bandaging, hiding in the dorm, unwilling to see anyone. Chloe Sue accidentally flashed a V sign in front of the mirror, and the curtain behind her was conveniently blown open by the wind, revealing me changing clothes inside. My graceful figure and Chloe Sue's figure, overflowing with excess fat, were like two different worlds. At this moment, from this angle, with this photoshopped-like contrast, no one would believe it wasn't intentional. This photo went viral at an extreme speed from the school's confession page, comments ridiculing my endless posing, people asking for my contact info and prices. As soon as I opened my phone, it was flooded with malice. That was my second period of despair. Self-hatred and the judgment of strangers made me want to commit suicide multiple times. It was Chloe Sue who, timely, discovered me and rushed me to the hospital. I had genuinely thanked her once. Little did I know that was the beginning of my true despair. I had asked countless times what I had done to offend her, that I could fix it, but I only received Chloe Sue's reply, "I'm helping you get famous." She had gone mad for fame. I didn't say much more, quickly packed my belongings and pulled my suitcase to leave. But the moment I turned around, Chloe Sue's face contorted as she lunged at me, grabbing my neck. "Where do you think you're going?" Luckily, I acted fast and pushed the room door open. We both tumbled into the hallway. It was a hot summer and most rooms had their doors open. Seeing the scene, everyone rushed out to help me. But a strange glint appeared in Chloe Sue's eyes. I had a bad feeling. Chloe Sue, this madwoman, couldn't possibly be planning to use the crowd to stage her final act, could she? Sure enough, she tightened her grip on my neck with all her might. Several people together couldn't pry her off. It was only when I used my last bit of strength to bite her arm, drawing blood, that Chloe Sue finally let go. She turned and cried into the cameras of the onlookers, "What will it take for you to leave me alone?" Her tone was perfect, her acting moving. Even the girls who were defending me hesitated. After all, I was leaving soon. Wouldn't it be better for me to be branded as a discovered bully and silently expelled from the dorms? But besides violent coughing, I couldn't even explain myself. Seeing that things had gone her way, Chloe Sue subtly smirked at an angle only I could see, then walked into the room and pushed out my luggage. "Today, with so many people watching, I won't pursue this with you. Go." With that, she slammed the door shut with a bang. It took me 20 minutes to finally get back on my feet. Most people, unwilling to get involved, had returned to their rooms. Only one person stopped in front of me, supporting my arm. "Can you get up?" "Jade Wang, thank you." My voice couldn't help but hold a hint of bitterness. In my past life, Jade Wang was the leader of our 4-person dorm room. She was slandered and ostracized by Chloe Sue just for reminding her to clean. Jade Wang didn't indulge her. She moved out to rent a place with another roommate. Of course, she had asked me too, but I had no one backing me, no confidence in anything I did. At that time, I also considered moving out. Although it would mean not having to endure Chloe Sue, I wouldn't be able to save money. But things were different now. I had made my choice. Jade Wang looked at me and sighed, "There's still an empty bed. If you want to come, you'll have to pay monthly rent." The second day after moving into the rented house, I took a day off. I hailed a taxi to the city's most luxurious villa area. Squatting at the gate for half a day, I finally waited for her. She had a noble demeanor, looked to be in her early 30s, but her hair was already streaked with white, her face etched with exhaustion. The moment I arrived, my nose stung, but I couldn't bring myself to call out, "Mom." A major reason Chloe Sue had me in her grip was because she said the internet's widespread influence would help me find my parents. But it wasn't until the very end that I learned my mother had already contacted Chloe Sue. Chloe Sue, on one hand, threatened me to raise her profile. On the other hand, she told my mother that because I had been deprived of love for so many years, I didn't want to see people, only money. All the expensive gifts my mother sent me through her were kept by Chloe Sue. Because of Chloe Sue's malicious slander, in my mother's heart, I was probably just a greedy, insatiable person. The closer I got to home, the more afraid I became. Before coming, I had envisioned countless times a scene of us, mother and daughter, seeking revenge. But the love we both craved was right before my eyes. I just wanted to escape. Forget it. Chloe Sue no longer had recent photos of me. Mother would eventually discover something amiss. At that point, an innocent, ignorant me would be pure. If I appeared now, I wouldn't even have a decent explanation. Pulling down my hat, I prepared to go back to my part-time job. I couldn't delay any longer. But someone suddenly clasped my wrist with a force that seemed to want to merge me into bone and blood, then gently released it, as if startled. "Is that Vivian Shen?" Mom took me to eat KSC. She talked nonstop. From how I wanted to eat but she had no money to take me, to how Dad won the lottery then heartlessly abandoned her but then got into a car accident, losing both his life and money. Finally, she cautiously looked up at me. "From now on, whatever you want, can you just tell Mom directly?" The bitterness in her words was quickly overshadowed by another thought. Why did she specifically mention, "Tell me directly"? A guess immediately surfaced in my mind. I asked my mother, "Could it be, you've also been reincarnated?" My mother seemed to understand something, suddenly lunging forward to embrace me. "My Vivian Shen?" In the noisy, bustling restaurant, my mother and I hugged and sobbed, not looking out of place at all. It wasn't until the waiter called several times and brought out our food that Mom, a little embarrassed, wiped away her tears. Just as she was about to say something, her phone rang. The caller ID clearly displayed, Vivian Shen's roommate, Chloe Sue. The moment that name flashed across my mind, my mother frowned, about to hang up. Because after I died, my mother lost everything to retrieve my body from Chloe Sue and learned the whole truth. So, after realizing she had a second chance, the first thing my mother did was to find me. She thought, even if I didn't want to see her, she had to keep me away from Chloe Sue. That kind of person truly couldn't be trusted, but I reached out and stopped her. If we both change, Chloe Sue will definitely find something suspicious. After all, there are so many reincarnations. Maybe Chloe Sue got one too. Besides, I clenched my fist, in this life, I want her to experience what it's like to play with fire and get burned. "Mom, answer the phone." "Auntie, I've advised Vivian, but she won't listen to anything. But I know she's been needing a computer lately." I almost burst out laughing. Of course, she had already got my mom to buy her a camera, a phone, a voice recorder, and now she only lacked a professional computer. My mother looked at my faded clothes, then at the expensive, latest model computer Chloe Sue had sent, and her eyes reddened again. She took a deep breath to keep her voice steady. "Auntie is a bit tight on money recently. This computer might be a bit difficult." Chloe Sue's incredulous cry immediately came through, tinged with sarcasm. "I don't see any sincerity. It's hard for me to put in a good word for Vivian then." Anger surged in my mother's heart, and her voice turned cold. "You've helped Auntie for so long. Although I've given you a few small gifts before, I heard you want to become an online celebrity. I've contacted a manager for you. Would you like to try?" With that, she sent the manager's contact information. Tian Yuan, the famous domestic, hot talent maker. In my past life, Chloe Sue had always fantasized about catching his eye. Eventually, she went against her own wishes and offered me to him. She even laughed at me. "It's hard work for you to help me butter up that scoundrel. I'll definitely give you a grand funeral later." But the current Chloe Sue still didn't understand Tian Yuan's true nature. She only thought this was a windfall from heaven. Chloe Sue's contemptuous tone instantly turned fawning. "I'll put in a good word for Auntie. Please don't forget to introduce me more often too." As soon as she hung up, she messaged me. "Vivian Shen, our school is about to choose a campus beauty. I think only you deserve this title. Quickly send me a selfie." The public uproar from a few days ago seemed to have been forgotten by her, but this was perfect. I accidentally sent a photo, then recalled it 2 minutes later. I don't need this. The image of someone sulking but unwilling to cut off contact was perfectly portrayed. I couldn't let her suspect anything. The very next second, this photo was sent to my mother's phone. My mother snorted in disdain. Her looks really matched that scumbag director Tian. Indeed, scumbags understand each other. admire each other, and naturally should cling to each other forever. As expected, a few days later, Chloe Sue became famous as she wished, but in a scandalous way. A photo of Chloe Sue injecting hormones to reach 150 kg went viral online with the title, "Bullet into Depression by Her Roommate, A Girl Never Gives Up Hope." A somewhat forced smile squeezed out from among her layers of fat. A lifetime apart, I once again saw that disgusting face. In the dorm room, she was live streaming alone, just like in my past life, trying to portray her positive, radiant side. But people didn't believe it. Depression can't look like that. Don't piggyback on fame, sis. Chloe Sue originally didn't have a stable psyche. In her past life, even one malicious comment would make her vent her anger on me. The next day, her live stream face was swollen. Now, this was truly about to make her collapse. Even in her recent live streams, her complexion worsened with each passing session, even leading her to consider asking my mother for cosmetics. But these things weren't enough. I understood her every move best. In a few days, she would lose weight, post a meticulously photoshopped picture, cry a pitiful performance, and directly become a pure internet phenomenon. How could I let Chloe Sue whitewash herself? I waited a full year until social media seemed to have truly forgotten everything about Chloe Sue, pouring all their sympathy onto a pathetic, emaciated person after liposuction. I smiled and told my mother, "You can call Director Tian now." My mother nodded. The moment the phone connected, she said, "Mr. Tian, in order to create a scandal, you said the bullying roommate was my daughter. You've affected her life." I happily heard the man's flustered voice on the other end. He could promote so many people because he needed money, but this man was a wolf in sheep's clothing. No one wanted to cooperate. The hot talents under his wing only lasted a short time, and the money wasn't enough to spend. Meeting my mother, a country bumpkin-rich woman who only had money and didn't understand intricate matters, was Director Tian's best target for fraud. How could he give up my mother for Chloe Sue? So he decisively offered a solution. "I will clarify the matter. Chloe Sue will be blacklisted." I smiled, making a gesture with my mouth, a mix of firmness and compromise. People can accept you making one mistake, but if you keep causing trouble again and again, no matter how good or bad the truth is, it only makes people disgusted. When the correction statement climbed to the top of the search trends, I opened Chloe Sue's livestream, kindly typed a reminder to her, and watched with satisfaction as her face gradually turned pale. Now, the tables had turned. "Chloe Sue, how do you feel?" "No, how can this be?" Chloe Sue mumbled for a while, then suddenly stood up in a rage, sweeping all the products off the table. I went to her personal page and saw that in a short time, she had lost tens of thousands of followers. Her livestream room was full of demands for refunds, and Chloe Sue's face was ashen. "You can't do this." But no one listened to her. Even the camera shook a few times and fell, a final straw. Chloe Sue's fragile mental state immediately collapsed. "You fair weather friends, you ingrates, come back and buy my stuff." She bared her fangs and claws, lunging at the phone, her furious face instantly filling the screen. "Wah!" But before she could finish speaking, the live stream room was locked. I looked at the "report successful" message on the screen, unable to suppress a laugh. The higher the peak of traffic, the more tragic the fall. Before I could finish marveling, my mother's phone rang. Chloe Sue's angry voice immediately pierced my eardrums. "Auntie, don't you want to see your daughter so badly? I'm Vivian Shen's only friend. We share honor and disgrace. If you don't want your daughter to do well, then just keep doing this." I wasn't surprised that she knew my mother was behind this. Director Tian could have enjoyed the benefits without effort, but we blocked his path to wealth. This anger had nowhere to go, so he naturally borrowed Chloe Sue's knife to stab us in the back. My mother had to suppress her anger for a long time before she could speak normally. "Chloe Sue, I am Vivian Shen's mother, not anyone off the street. Why should I help you slander my own daughter? Moreover, from what I understand, Vivian Shen hasn't been back to the dorm for a long time, has she?" There was a deadly silence on both ends of the phone. After a long while, Chloe Sue finally spoke, her voice laced with venom. "Vivian Shen, you taught her all this, didn't you?" Finally, I dropped my smile and calmly looked at that name. Chloe Sue wasn't a fool, which was why she could go so far in her past life. If she had guessed, then I would add fuel to the fire. I took the phone and said softly, "That's right. I just found out my mom is so rich. The designer clothes you wear, the latest model phone you use, they were all taken from her pocket. But now, those things are all mine." "Mom," my words weren't entirely meant to provoke her, but they were the truth. My mother knew I hadn't received those things and had dragged me into the mall, shopping impulsively for half a month straight. I also realized then that my mother wasn't an ignorant woman. That lottery ticket from years ago had been invested and multiplied several times over, enough for me to live comfortably for the rest of my life. She said I had suffered enough, and from now on, I only needed to smile. I clasped her hand and said, "That day will come soon. Today is the day we truly begin anew." On the other end of the line, Chloe Sue gasped for a long time, finally unable to say anything, furiously tapping the screen a few times and hanging up. My mother looked at me with a little worry. "I can afford to raise you. We can go to a city where no one knows us and live happily. I just worry she'll harm you." I gently comforted her. "I know Chloe Sue best. She's suspicious, petty, and would rather drag everyone down than bow her head and retreat. Cornering someone like that, she only has one choice." About 3 months later, Director Tian arranged to meet me. In his newly acquired car, this time he didn't have a single loose change. He tried to hide his sleazy gaze, speaking earnestly. "I came to discuss something with you." "Go on." He handed me a recording. "Director Tian, you can tell me to do anything, just give me one more chance, I will definitely satisfy you." It was Chloe Sue's voice. Next was Director Tian's feigned arrogant voice. "What can you do?" After a not too long silence, there was a rustling sound, seemingly of clothes being removed, then it abruptly stopped there. Director Tian's meaningful gaze fell upon me. I knew what kind of person he was from my past life, vulgar, despicable, only thinking with his lower half. So he clearly didn't dare to have improper intentions with me, but still had to play this obscene recording in front of me to tease me a little. My stomach churned for a moment, then I vomited straight onto him and his car, covering him entirely. Effective, wasn't it? Director Tian bent his pinky finger and jumped up, hitting his head on the car roof. He ended up squatting in the back seat, nursing his pig-like swollen head. I wiped my mouth, casually saying, "Your car isn't good. I get carsick easily when I ride in it. Didn't you notice?" His whole face contorted as he ground out 2 words, "Didn't notice." I nodded in satisfaction and asked, "Anything else?" Chloe Sue wanting to offer herself to him wasn't new this life. I wasn't surprised. But after I pulled such a stunt on Director Tian, he finally didn't dare to play any more tricks. He bowed his head to me resentfully and played another recording. "I've seen Vivian Shen's body. It completely satisfies your preferences." After aggressively marketing me for a while, she finally stated her purpose. "You don't want to be bossed around by an old woman all the time, do you? Let's cooperate. Then all the money will be yours. Just make me famous." I looked up, meeting Director Tian's fawning smile. I know who has always supported me. My heart naturally still leans towards those benefactors. He really knew how to flatter. Clearly, my mother had only invested a small amount of money in promoting Chloe Sue, and in his mouth, she became the big backer. This time, I truly couldn't help but laugh out loud. Watching Director Tian's face stiffen, I also took out my phone. What a coincidence. On the screen, my conversation with Chloe Sue was clearly visible. She first sent me a photo. On the folds of her belly fat, clear bruises were visible. "Vivian Shen, I know you might not believe me anymore, but Director Tian, he's a complete pervert. I earned him so much money, yet he wants to kill me. He tied me up, held a knife to my throat. If I move, I'll die." Chloe Sue's voice carried the panic after her ordeal, even a bit disjointed. "He even broke my arm and then found someone to fix it. Just when I got better, he broke it again." After a long while, she finally composed herself and sent several fragmented audio clips. "She's just an old hag. I only gave her face for a while. Just wait until I ruin her, make her kneel before me and lick my shoes." The audio recording was clearly interrupted and not seamless, far inferior to Director Tian's edited version. But Chloe Sue still pretended to be calm and continued, "Vivian Shen, did you hear that? He hates you. One day, he'll use these methods on you 100, 1,000 times worse. After all, I've been with you for so long and even helped you find your mother. Who should you believe? I trust you already have the answer in your heart." I gave Director Tian a meaningful yet cold look. He's so desperate, I almost feel a little sorry for him. The photo Chloe Sue sent showed her emaciated to the point of being almost skeletal, her eye sockets deeply sunken and dark. The moment I saw her in this state, my heart ached. If I hadn't been so decisive in ending my life in the previous life, the person tormented like this would have been me. But I didn't feel that Chloe Sue was suffering in my stead. On the contrary, everything she experienced was her own doing. I just felt it was undeserved. All that suffering should have been borne by the Chloe Sue of the previous life herself. Composing myself, I calmly looked into Director Tian's eyes. What will you choose? A selfish person naturally couldn't give me the answer I wanted. I cut off Director Tian's next words, turned to video call Chloe Sue, and proposed an idea to both of them. How about this? 3 days from now, I'll open a public live stream for everyone to judge your sins. By then, I'll guarantee a comfortable life for the person with the Lighter Chinese letter. I smiled meaningfully, while the two people in front of me turned pale. Especially Chloe Sue, whose face momentarily showed an unnatural curve, a confident smile of a superior holding all the cards. All right. Thoughts rapidly spun in my head. Why did Chloe Sue dare to message me? Why did Chloe Sue dare to accept this challenge? Why did Chloe Sue think she had victory assured? There could only be one outcome. I looked at Chloe Sue and said, "You also transmigrated back here, didn't you?" After I exposed her only golden finger, all of Chloe Sue's composure vanished. She trembled all over, seemingly recalling something terrifying. She stared at me, screaming, "You also reincarnated, didn't you?" While looking at Director Tian beside her, who was clutching his head and crying. "Don't kill me, I was wrong, don't kill me." Her psychological barrier was extremely fragile. I slowly curved my lips into a smile. "That's great. All this suffering, you're bearing it, right? So the hell I was in, you've been through it too? Then I'm relieved." In Director Tian's horrified eyes, I said this meaningfully. "You too will play this game, won't you?" They both couldn't refuse. Chloe Sue on the other end of the line desperately kowtowed to me, or perhaps to Director Tian. I didn't hesitate to hang up, sent both of them the detailed information about the live stream, and walked out. The air was so fresh. I took a deep breath and rushed into my mother's arms. "Mom, everything is about to return to normal." This strange live stream had already attracted much attention. Coupled with my deliberate guidance, even before it started, many people were urging it on. What kind of judgment platform? Interesting. It's all just a script, no interest. Under the watchful eyes of thousands, I began the live stream. A sword marked the dividing line, with Chloe Sue and Director Tian on either side. Chloe Sue timidly bowed her head, only showing the back of her head to the camera. Director Tian, on the other hand, confidently found his best angle, flirting with the audience. But no one here cheered him on. A barrage of disgusted and blinding comments made Director Tian's face grow increasingly pale. From behind the camera, I gently tapped the table. The two immediately sat up straight, facing each other. An emotionless, mechanical electronic voice announced, "Judgment begins." Director Tian was prepared and quickly took the upper hand. "Chloe Sue, to gain fame, you deliberately used your roommate's life to create a script, imprisoned her, caused her depression, and even used her money for liposuction surgery. Do you admit it?" Chloe Sue's lips moved, and finally she nodded deeply. I was quite surprised myself, looking towards Director Tian. Everything he said was from the previous life. It was truly chaotic. The few of us reincarnated together, sitting here just to tell a story fairly and righteously. I looked down, and the comment section immediately exploded. Soon, someone recognized Chloe Sue as the chubby girl whose whitewashing attempt failed that year. They said, "Indeed, inner character shapes outward appearance." I didn't comment. I turned and nodded at Chloe Sue. "It's your turn." Chloe Sue clenched her fists. "You gain status and wealth to abuse and murder young girls." This statement was like a bomb thrown into deep water, quickly causing a stir. What is she saying? Is it true or false? Not long after, even the police phone rang. I didn't answer but sent the address. The live stream continued. Director Tian knew he couldn't possibly admit to this statement, so he furiously flipped the table, causing Chloe Sue to fall to the ground. "You be *TCH, do you know what you're saying? You want to kill me, you want to take me down with you." Chloe Sue remained silent, slowly crawling up from the ground. She didn't say anything, instead rolling up her sleeve. Even with the live stream's strong beauty filter, those scars were too horrifying. Even fast-scrolling comments paused for a moment. The online trolls he hired to defend him were immediately overwhelmed by the majority of discerning viewers. I get it, these two are playing good cop, bad cop, bullying their roommate. It must be 8 lifetimes of bad luck to meet these two. Little sister, from now on, let them bear all your sins. I permit it. Live long enough and you see all kinds of trashy men and women. Director Tian cursed bitterly, raising his leg to kick Chloe Sue. But Chloe Sue remained silent, crawling back into the camera frame countless times, displaying her wounds. Further beating and scolding would only put him at a disadvantage. Director Tian realized this, so he quickly retracted his leg, turning to Chloe Sue with a cold laugh. Still pretending to be a chaste martyr? Wasn't it all voluntary? Otherwise, how could this old man promote you? An unknown student, craving to be 90 kg, craving to be fat as a pig. A person who clawed his way up from the bottom like him spoke in an extremely vulgar manner. Chloe Sue couldn't get a word in, getting so angry she started crying, even yelling at me. "It's my turn now. Did he pay you guys to cover for him?" Her nails dug deep into my flesh. It was then I realized Chloe Sue had been pretending just now, turning her weakness into an advantage, almost deceiving even me. The Chloe Sue in front of me was the person who had personally killed someone in the previous life. I sighed. "All right, the stage is yours." With that, I completely left the room. Without a referee, Chloe Sue and Director Tian tore into each other more wildly. Chloe Sue lunged first, kicking him hard in the groin. While Director Tian was down and couldn't get up, she sat directly on him, slapping his face repeatedly. "You dare scold me? I didn't hesitate to ruin my own reputation to earn money for you, and even found people to satisfy your preferences, yet you tormented me like this." Director Tian finally managed to breathe after a long while, suddenly flipping over to pin Chloe Sue to the ground, his hands tightening around her neck. "Your dear friend, your roommate, you're truly skilled at biting the hand that feeds you. Oh, I forgot. You actually liked me so much that you cried and begged to stay even after watching me handle your roommate's corpse, didn't you? You're a great friend to her indeed." The two had completely lost their composure from when they first entered. Director Tian's clothes were torn to shreds by Chloe Sue, revealing a body of flabby fat. "Go look in a mirror. If she hadn't died or gone blind, she'd never have noticed you." Chloe Sue spat in his face, seizing the opportunity to slap him twice more. This time, Director Tian couldn't even speak. Everything he was most proud of was torn to shreds by Chloe Sue. "You be *TCH. He roared in anger, lunging at Chloe Sue again. The live stream was interrupted right at this moment. I sighed, and through the room's loudspeaker, I stopped their brawl. "All right, it's all over." Chloe Sue trembled all over, being the first to stop moving. Her bright, sparkling eyes looked towards the camera in the room. Vivian Shen. I didn't linger with her, directly displaying the results on the large screen. Chloe Sue, 70%. Actually, the main reason was that she had released two shocking news about Director Tian. Everyone rushed to report to the police or inquire about the truth. No one remembered this voting round anymore. No, how could this be? Chloe Sue incredulously took 2 steps forward, desperately hitting the wall. "Then what should I do? You said you'd save me. Now what do you want me to do?" Director Tian, lying beside her, burst into laughter. "Ha, what good will playing the pity card with her do? In the end, only one of us will get to live." His expression was nonchalant. He even dusted off his clothes and waved at the camera. "All right, let me out." At that moment, I walked to the warehouse door and personally opened it for them. Director Tian's arrogant gaze swept me from head to toe. "Just transfer the money to my card." Everything Chloe Sue had just said, he admitted, but he didn't feel there was any problem, not even surprised by the negative comments about himself. Because he understood social media too well. It could strip someone bare, leaving them with nothing, yet it could also allow a vicious criminal to stand under the spotlight once more. I heard my mother say that in her past life, Chloe Sue was always woken up by nightmares later on. Even her fans knew she had set up a Buddhist altar at home, trying to pray for my soul's salvation every single day. Only Director Tian, he gnawed on everyone's flesh and blood, but could still step over them, finding investors with similar ambitions to make a comeback. What a robust psyche. Thinking of this, there was no longer any hesitation in my heart. Staring at the tip of my shoes, I calmly spoke. "I will give you a gift even better than money. A private car, bodyguards surrounding you, the attention of thousands, no worries about food or clothing." With every word I spoke, Director Tian's eyes lit up a little more. By the end, he was almost unable to wait, shaking me. "Hurry up! What if those people find my location and come for revenge?" Those people, he referred to, were naturally the families of those he had harmed. I turned and pointed the way for him. "It's all right, they will protect you. They won't let these people kill you." Following the direction of my finger, Director Tian's face grew paler and paler, his trembling lips gradually losing their color. At the end of the long warehouse were dark muzzles of guns. A strong, steady voice rang out, hands up, slowly step back. Director Tian was given a pair of silver handcuffs. Perhaps he was too overjoyed. Until the moment he disappeared from my sight, he glared at me, telling me to just wait. I was amused by him, truly hilarious. In just a few days, with sufficient evidence, the verdict would be rendered and he would be on his way. He truly was a man who always had to be ahead of others. I smirked, then my ankle was suddenly grabbed by someone. Chloe Sue had crawled over. She gently looked up, her eyes sparkling. "Vivian Shen, you're on my side, aren't you?" I frowned, pulled my foot away, and squatted down to look into her eyes. "What makes you think that playing childish games with me now will truly make things go your way?" Chloe Sue was stunned and let go, then quickly crawled forward again, wrapping her arms tightly around my legs. "Vivian Shen, you harmed me. I want you to be buried with me. You won't get to live a good life either." As soon as she finished speaking, she used her strength to pull my legs, making me fall forward. The moment my head was about to hit the ground, someone's hand cushioned it. What followed was a dizzying sensation. Noisy footsteps rushed past me. When I looked up again, I saw Chloe Sue being restrained by a group of police officers, still unwillingly trying to lunge towards me. "Vivian Shen, aren't you afraid of retribution for doing all this?" On her frightened face was clear hatred, just like my own in the previous life. I stopped at a position just out of her reach and spoke. "What did I do? I introduced you to a benefactor, spoke up for myself before my reputation was ruined, and opened a live stream at your request. Wasn't I helping you all this time? Accumulating virtue and doing good deeds, why should I be afraid?" Chloe Sue stared at me for so long that I thought she would be taken away by the police just like that. Then she let out a self-deprecating laugh. "Vivian Shen, I lost this time. But in my previous life, I was too naive, and I thought it was just the aftereffects of her recent heartbreak." After saying this, she suddenly tried to bash her head against the wall, but two experienced police officers, how could they let her escape so easily? They grimly told her to be honest, then nodded at me, preparing to take her away. As they were about to pass me, I stopped the police. "She has a mental illness. Chloe Sue's crime in this life wasn't severe enough to warrant death, so she would continue to live. But perhaps death was what she desired most at this moment. But I wouldn't let her have her way, just as she had countless times ruined me in my previous life." In the 4th year of living the life of a rich and carefree person, I was invited to participate in an international dance performance. Before completely leaving this city, I visited Chloe Sue in the mental hospital one last time. She was tied to the hospital bed, unable to move. Occasionally, when she had a fit, nurses would rush in and inject her with a sedative. The moment she saw me, her lips moved, speaking 2 words: "Kill me." After the medication took effect, I walked into her room. Looking at her fading form, I shook my head disapprovingly. Killing is against the law. Music fades in.